Hi friends, welcome back to the tutorial. This is Kishore. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss about all the panels, settings, editors, preference, and layouts of departments and workspaces. And this is all very basic level of discussion only. Again, we will discuss about all these workspaces at the time of specialization classes very briefly. So this is just a quick overview of Maya panels, right? Here you can see workspaces, right? These workspaces helps us to work with a very smart way towards the department specializations. For example, I'm a modeling guy. I'll take this modeling standard. So this is very comfortable for me to work with the modeling, to develop the sets and character models, whatever. Easily I can take all the tools. Easily I can use these tools and easily I can work. If I am animator, I will use this one. This is very comfortable for me to work with animation scenes. So easily I can animate, I can use keyframes, and I can edit the graph editors, graphs, curves, and all everything. So this initially you can take Maya classic, so it will be basic for interface guys and basic workers, basic production workers. So if the guy work with UV texturing department and all, it will be very comfortable for them. So according to the department, we have to change the workspaces, right? So rendering, so this is good for rendering guys. So like that we have to use the workspaces, right? So Maya has many windows and many attributes. For example, here you can see these are windows, different workflows and operation related and method related, process related, and all related towards um, departments: modeling related, texturing related, animation related, rendering related, relationship editor towards dynamics, I mean effects, and settings and preference, all these things. So here general editors, hype, you know attribute editors, there's a lot of things here. See, here let me explain one thing: outliner. This is the outliner, just like it is a representation of the display, whatever we have in the grid line in the scene, whether toyer, you can see all the, all the geometries are, you can see here something like name and small icon, right? So this is the way it's creates automatically. Not only just geometries, you can also take any joint. See joints, take locator, see locator, go to the effects, go to the particles emitter, right? Like this. But defaultly we have, when we take new screen, defaultly we have prospect view, top view, front view, side view, and we have defaultly one light and one object, but it will be hidden, right? So these are default. Actually from here to here we can see, for example, if we take new screen, see, the defaultly we are able to see four views, right? Prospect view, top view, left view, so front view and side view, right? See all these views. And defaultly we have light. Because of that we are able to see the model, otherwise it's very difficult to see the model, right? Defaultly we have one light which will be hidden here. Actually you cannot see here, but the light icon you can't see, but here you can see that we are able to see the cylinder with shading because of the light, right? Default we have one object also. Okay, if you delete this one, default we have object set actually. Okay, right. This helps us to navigate. You can easily selection. Sometimes you may not select the particular geometry or bone or any constraint. So it helps us to, and we have create lights. For example, I'm just creating lights, create another light, create some camera. So we have a lot of, go to the effects, emitter. So we have a lot of things here. So see here we have joints and all. See here and these two geometries I'm just taking control D copies, automatically it will come in, right? See here, remember we have discussed about grouping, so select these two geometries and control G, that will become a group, right? Now what I'm doing, this way we can do group, or you can see cylinder and tires. Here I'm just we can hold middle mouse and drag over, above the cylinder. See here, we can navigate like this also. We can select the particular torus, and we can put the middle of the two lights like this. Again, you can hold the middle mouse and drag like this. If you hold middle mouse and drag over the cylinder, you can see it become a group. This is a child, and this, for example, see, select the toy and up arrow, it's become a group, right? You can also ungroup, just select the particular torus and middle mouse and drag over it, and now it is two geometries, right? This way we can see. And also you can, very smart way you can, so only I want to see lights, you can see, only you can see lights, only I want to see just geometries, see geometries, lights are also there, right? So disable the lights, you can see only geometries. This way also you can work very organized or in a professional way, right? So this way we can use, again we'll discuss about this outliner and all these. We have a lot of windows, and node editor means, we have a lot of things. So we have, for example, if you just apply any new material to this geometry, so it is created. See, the object has a created a texture, like see, these are node editors. We can create nodes means, just like, there are two workflows, one is layer based workflow and another one is node based workflow. I hope you know the Photoshop, right? Photoshop is the layer based workflow, and there is a software nuke is a node based workflow. Here nodes will help us to helps to display the clearly which node, which material is connected to the which geometry, and which bone is connected to the which I can handle. There are a lot of technical terminologies, technical constraints and all, so we can see clearly all these things in the node editor. So we can also work with all these things. We will also work with all these editors when we work with a particular relevant department. And here you can see playbust is just like, it's related to animation. When we work with animation, so you have to see rough quality of the animation instead of taking render. We have discussed about rendering, right? Rendering is takes very long time to see, render whole frames, 24 frames per second. If you want to see 3 seconds of animation, we need 75 frames. So this 75 frames, it takes very long time according to the lights and model details and all. So if you take a playbust, it will be happen 1 minute or 30 seconds of 24 frames, just for visible purpose. All these things we will discuss again in animation department. So there are a lot of things here: minimize, maximize applications and all these things. And here you can see settings and preference. For example, see, preference, let me go to the preference is nothing but, for example, I'm just taking a new screen. Here, remember, we have discussed about this is 1 unit can be taken as a centimeter or meter, and meter or inch, or add foot, like that we can take, right? How to we can do it here, all these things we can adjust in the settings editor. So for example, let me show you some of example UI elements. For example, see here, self, this is we here discussed about, right? This is self, right? If you disable this one, you can see the self. If you enable, you can see the self. If you disable, you cannot see the self, right? Like this, we have all these settings related to animation, how many frames, that animation keyframes, uh, all these things we can adjust here. Undo settings, infinity or off, how many, limited, all these things. Sound related settings, color management, you know fonts related, okay, so polygon related, all these things. Okay, so let me show you one of the example here. So here, settings. So settings actually centimeter defaultly. Here you can see from here to here centimeter. If you take any of the box, you can see this is 1 centimeter. I can place exactly here. This is a 1 centimeter. Okay, I'm changing this 1 centimeter to inch. See, 2.5 roughly, it's not exactly 2.5, it 2 centimeters or 4, something like that. So if you take Control D, this is going to be a, again here I'm just giving 1 inch. This is the 1 inch. Go to the top view and easily you can fix. This is going to be 1 inch. What about foot? Okay, see, 12 inches 1 foot, right? So exactly what I'm doing here, Control D, I'm exactly Shift D. Okay, um, now what I'm doing, Control D, and exactly I'm just doing here, and Shift D, keep on taking duplicates. See here, exactly 12 boxes for this is 1 inch, right? So 12 inches equal to 1 foot, right? So here you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, right? So like that we can measure. So you can also take it as a uh, yard or meter. So it's very important when you're working with the modeling department. You're working for what, if you are working with something like houses and all, you have to take uh, meters or inches. Sorry, foot. Okay, if you're working with something like micro models, watches, finger rings, or these kind of micro models, you have to take millimeters. Okay, if you're working with some flyovers and sets and all, that time you have to take meters. Okay, meter, how many meters, pillar heights and all these things are very important. So this way we can adjust, and how many frames per second, all these things we can give it. For cartoonic and all, for 2D animation and all, we can take 15 frames per second. But if it is films and all, we have to take 25 frames per second, 30 frames per second. It depends on the international standards and project that you're working for, what exactly, it depends on that. So this way we can adjust the settings and preference and all. So then the next thing is, this way we have a lot of any kind of things. For example, Windows generator, attribute editor, channel box, all these things we have seen, right? Tool settings and hypergraph hierarchy, just what exactly. First you have taken a cube, then again taken second cube and third cube, and how many cubes you have taken. Just see, it is exactly like this. Okay, this is the process. So again we'll discuss about all these panels and all. We have a lot of many panels. So for example, see, UV, these are all texturing related. So this is texturing. Generally this is the box, and see, if you select any of one box, or if you take cylinder, see how the cylinder, if it is unwrapped, see, cylinder has three sections: top circle, bottom circle, and the middle shell. There are three shells here. Actually we can call it as a geometry in viewport. Here we have two shells, so we have to call it as a shell. This is all related to texturing related panel. So like this we have, there are many panels related, texturing and animation, rigging related, all these panels. So here graph editor, we have to edit the graphs, curves, animation related and all. When we work with animations and all, we have to use these all graphs. Okay, if we have animation, it creates some graphs. So by adjusting those graphs according to the principles, we get the perfect quality of the animation. So like that we have render related. Okay, render related, hypershade, and material related and render related graphs. Here you can see we can use any of the material, okay, and take the any of the material or blend or any material. You can edit the material of the values, the color, or you can also assign the textures. For example, you can take some textures. So textures and all we can give it here in this texturing hypershade editors. So we have a lot of workflows towards environment texture and lighting texture and glows, a lot of things rendering related, all this all rendering related workflow, all these things we have. By using this hypershade we can work with that. And here we have a lot of things, so relationship editor, it's all related uh, so not rendering, go to the relation. So dynamics relationships editor, dynamics, effects related. If you apply one gravity, for example, remember we have discussed about if you want to throw one ball, easily you can animate. What if hundreds of balls, very difficult to animate hundreds of balls, right? By using effects dynamics department, each and every ball can be simulated through the dynamic values such as like a gravity, static friction, friction, damping, bouncing, all these things, physical related values, using that values. So if you apply one gravity to one ball, you not necessary to apply all the balls, hundreds of gravities. One single gravity node you can give it through the dynamic relationship editor. Like this, a lot of workflows. We'll also discuss about all this when we do specialization particular department, but this all the video series completely related to basics only, not up to the specializations. So again we are going to start modeling specialization, rigging specialization, texturing, and rendering, as well as effects and all. So these are just panels. I just want to show you how the panels will work. And there are a lot of attribute editors, already we have seen channel box and all attribute editor right now. So attribute editor, we are able to see the some. So here we are not yeah. So this is just cylinder. If I take new screen, you cannot see anything in attribute editor. If you take one cylinder, then you can see that. See the cylindric properties, attribute editor related to not only for modeling, it's also related to rigging related, disable, enable, and we are able to move in infinity way, right? So from here you can give some value, so 10. And so here infinitely I am able to move this cylinder in a x-axis, right? But what I'm doing here, I'm using some limits. So minus 10 up to minus 10, and here just 10. So now you can see when you move this more than, it's not I'm not able to translate, you know above the 10, right? It is just 10 because we have given, as well as minus also, so minus 10, right? But in g axis I can move how much I want, right? Like this. So these kind of limitations and all, we use all these attributes in different departments according to the workflow. We will I will explain all these things when we do specialization in the particular department, next series, next video tutorials. So this way we can work with attribute editor, and you can also see many properties of cylinder related properties, smoothness, there are a lot of things, all the cylinder related radius and all, how much you want, height and all, all these things. So these all related shading groups and all. So a lot of things we'll also go through the production pipeline when we do specialization classes. Well, that's great. If you take something like, go to the FX department, you know fluid and some 3D container, I'm taking 3D container along with emitter, you can see many properties of these all related, FX related and dynamic physics related values and all. And here you can see dynamic solutions. If you can, when you drop down, if you enable this one, so these properties will be enabled. So if you change these properties again another, and if you change this, if you enable this one, so some other if you link other node or container to this, then when you link those two container, other properties will be enabled, then properties again keep on adding all these things. So there are many properties, and you can see there are many properties are you know extracting here. These are related this container we use for smoke, to create smoke, fire, liquid, and kind of different space effects, and clouds, and we and snow kind of stuff, all these things. And there are a lot of effects we can create by using this container. This is one of the best container in 3D, Autodesk Maya. So we have to use all these properties very perfectly, then we get the values. So this is the fluid shape related and emitter related properties. You can see all these things. Emitter is different. This is a lot of things are there. Also you can see channel box. There are many properties, basic important properties, bouncing, boundaries and all these things and all. If it is rigid bodies and all, you can see bouncing, friction, static friction, all these things. For example, a lot of if I take some box, I'm just giving here fx fields, gravity. You can see here this, before it was just cube, right? You do not see any this much of. Once you apply the gravity, you see how many, impulse, spin, mass, bouncing, damping, all these physics related, mass, see all these things. So using these values we can control, see all these things. So there are a lot of things, and all we are going to discuss all these things in specialization classes. So this is what and here you can see there are display properties. Display properties, you can see, for example, there is a display grid. See, this is the grid is there here, on here also grid is there, but here also we have grid. This is for completely for all the grids, only this grid only work to the particular relevant panel, but this grid related to all the views. So it's related to complete viewers, viewport panels. Here there are a lot of display related properties, show, hide. So for example, n particles, there are, you have a lot of things, right? Just now we have taken the container, fluid container and all. You can disable, enable by clicking all these things. Show, hide, it's just like a show, hide, we know that, right? Some softwares, Photoshop for example, there are options show, hide, like by using the layer panel, there are buttons show, hide. So like that here, but it's little little advanced level in Maya, right? So here you can see polygons. We know, right? Polygons and nubs. So nub, polygon related properties. Polygon means not just only a box. There it has a lot of properties, lot of technical words like face, normals, vertex, triangles, tangents, sorry, tangents, and normal direction or normal size, all these things, and vertex, edges, face, and UVs, all these things we have. So we can disable or increase the size. For, let me show you one example, then you will understand. For example, this is the polygon, right? So this is the polygon. See what is exactly, again we'll discuss about when we start the polygon modeling. So here we have a face normals, right? Vertex normals, right? And tangents. So let me explain face normal. Before, if you want to see face normals, you have to see face normals. What is face normals? Face normals is a, it's like a, it is representation of face direction. See, if I remove one face, select the face and delete. Inside it is very dark, but outside it's very shading with the gray color. So I'm just selecting the box. Here you can see, go to the polygons. So modeling here. Here we are at the modeling polygons. You can see reverse. So reverse, let me first of all, let's enable face normals. So face normals, you can see the face normals are very small, right? So there are green color lines, right? So you can increase the face normal size. So face normal size, I'm just increasing. See, it is increased. So to understand, I'm just moving this box tool here, so easily you can see those face normals, right? So these face normals are outside. If I make the face normals inside, see here, go to the reverse, then outside box is just dark, inside is gray color, right? So this way we can adjust the face normals. So we have to, before we have to display, we have to enable here face normals, otherwise you cannot see, right? So you have to select, then only you can see the face normals are inside. Now if you don't select, you cannot see. If you select, you can see, right? So you can also see, if you deselect, we have to enable some properties at the display section. Okay, so right, so like this, all these things you can also increase the vertex. If I example go to the vertex, I will explain what is vertex when we talk about see, this vertex size is very small, right? You can increase the vertex size, for example, like this. See, now easily you can select. Like this way we can work with all these settings. It's related to display, related to polygons. Now we have seen these all things, right? And nubs related settings and animation related display settings, all this show and hide, and this heads up UI related settings and all. You can enable you know animation details. Here you can see all the details, right? Here the polygon count, so select this. See here, 12 point edges and 8 polygons, 8 vertex, right? So UV is 14 and like, so you can enable, disable these all things. So see, um, disable polygon count, so you cannot see anything, and xgen information, you cannot see anything, like that. And here you can see axis, right? View axis, disable it, enable it. So if you enable all these things, you see a lot of properties, ik related in hik details, polygon scenes. So we, if the guy is working with animation related animation details, they, it is enable it. If the guy is working with the modeling related polygon count and all, they will enable, and animation, they disable it. Like this we have to work with very organizing, very professional way, using these all options. So this is what it displays and all. So uh, so the next thing is, we will start working with a small exercise, and I hope you understand what is exactly my interface and how the panels work and all. So practical also, we'll work with all these settings and preference next classes and all. So the next class going to be a practical small exercise that will help you to work with more friendly with all navigation controls and all. Okay, see you next class.